Welcome, everybody. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'm glad to be here, running a few minutes late. It's Mercury retrograding right as usual, as we understand likes to hang out wherever appliances and things are of that nature. So I'm here today, and I hope you could hear me clearly. Yes, I think my mic, everything is running. So this is Clear Blue Radiance. I'm back. We're already in the new year, as you can see, and we're back on here with another episode. Today's date is January the 5th, 2023. I'm the host of Clear Blue Radiance, and today's subject matter is very interesting about the principles of A, B, and C. And so, before we get into that, let me just say that I've been a spiritual counselor for over the past 40 plus years, and I enjoy helping people like yourself gain greater clarity in your own life, as well as find, create, and redefine your purpose in life. And our purpose changes as we change. We're changing all of the time. And so, as we're making these changes, we notice in our lives that we feel like we're being tested. We might think that we're being tested, but also the more consciously aware we become about ourselves, metaphysically, spiritually, however you want to say it, you realize that you are your own test. Sometimes you're doing a lot of thinking, sometimes you're overthinking. So today I'm coming out with this particular topic, and it's called The Principles of A, B, and C. However, it continues to say the principles of A, B, and C state how you can build a new life as you are new in consciousness. Now that's very interesting, right? Because we are always awakening to something new about ourselves. We're always looking to go someplace when what we need to do is on the inside of us. So, as I begin to open up with this particular talk, I want to put the title back in here, right? This is Clear Blue Radiance, and my topic is the principles. Now, what is a principle? Okay, a principle is a fundamental truth of all truth. That's what a principle is. That's one of the definitions. A fundamental, basic proof, basic truth of all truth. Now, there are many truths, and truth in itself is a law. Truth in itself is an affirmation. Truth in itself is an affirmative prayer. Truth in itself is a decree. And we can allow ourselves to participate in creating a better life for ourselves. And how can we do that? Well, we have to understand what kind of principles we're using. And as we begin to understand those principles, we allow ourselves to expand our consciousness. And as we expand our consciousness, we give ourselves a new opportunity, a new life. Okay. Many times people are seeking that, right? People, we're doing it all the time. We're seeking better ways to do something for ourselves, whether it's change the way we eat, change the way we exercise, change the way we put on clothes. Maybe we do house renovations, apartment renovations, renovate the land that you're on. Do you remember growing up uh, in households where your mother would say, "Hey, the springtime is coming, and so we're going to put up spring things in the house, in the home. Spring things in the home. Why? Because you want to spruce up. You're moving out of the winter season, and now the spring season is coming. People were out there doing what? Planting, preparing the ground in the fall, harvesting in the spring and the summer, harvesting mainly in the summer, but later in the fall, everything you were preparing to do. Even in the business field of fashion design, do you know they don't work on the fall season during the summer. They work on the fall season during the spring. Why? Because they need that amount of time in order to make up their mind, in order to create the particular fashion or design that they want, whether it's for men or for women or both, right? They want to create the wardrobe for children. If you remember, they would always say for business people, men, right? What's the business attire for the fall? What's the business attire for the spring? What's the business attire for the summer? So, in order to prepare for the summer, during the wintertime, they're designing then how they want things to be. And some were thinking that far in advance, 6 months in advance. Others were thinking 3 months in advance. I remember growing up, they would say the tie of the season was paisley. The tie of the season was the burgundy paisley tie. The tie of the season was pinstripes, diamonds, checks, small checks, certain colors, gold, yellow, blue, red, you name it. That's what they were putting out there. But that's also programming the masses of people, the public of people, to look for those colors, look for those designs. We do it all the time. There's not one piece of item that we may not be wearing that has some kind of industry name on it. So these things are allowing us to change our lives. How you can build a new life. When you're building this new life, you're deciding to build this new life. When you're deciding to build this new life, you are in you are new in your consciousness. You are new in your consciousness. That means what you know that you are aware of. See here. Build a new life, right? And what? You are new, or you become new in consciousness. So you might ask yourself, what are you consciously aware of? That's the first thing. What are we paying attention to all the time? Sometimes when we're out there trying to change the way we look, the way we think, many of us are hooked up on watching the news because that's important. Well, people that are into the Bitcoin thing and the stock trading things and whatever else is out there, they got to check every day, twice a day, 3 times a day to see if the stock is rising or is it falling. Is Bitcoin increasing or is it falling? Is it leveling off? Which one they're going to look after? Which one they got the money invested in? And there are people who invest and do well, and there's people who burn and crash, blow all their savings, blow part of their retirement fund because they were investing too much. So we don't know where all this stuff is. So why don't we invest in ourselves? Why don't we invest in our consciousness? Why don't we invest in loving ourselves more? Why don't we make these changes with ourselves so that we can improve our lot, our mind, our body? Do you know that when you're doing this, there's actually a formula. Now, there's a basic formula and there's a very creative formula the more you do this. Through awareness, building, and creating consciously, we can see our own consciousness become new within each one of us, especially when we are desiring to do just that. So the first thing we got to do is what? Make a decision. We got to figure out what we want. The late Reverend Ike used to say that in many of his teachings. You have to decide. First, decide what it is that you want to do. Decide what you want to have in your life. Decide how you're going to prepare your consciousness for it. The Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, the founder of the Agape Spiritual University out there in Culver City, California, that moved to Beverly Hills or wherever he is now, but in California, he would say you got to develop a consciousness, a conscious awareness, a consciousness. You got to put it up here first. You got to sleep with it. You got to feel it. You got to rock yourself to sleep in it, in the principles and in the maxims of truth of that new consciousness that you want to acquire. You have to have it richly, deeply embedded in the soil of your consciousness. And so when it's like that, then what? You can start to see new ideas sprouting with yourself. It takes what? 21 days to change your thoughts, your feelings, your habits, your words. Now, this has been proven with many things. There's a thing that I overhear. It was dealing with a biblical thing, and it was the teaching of Jabez, and that was the same thing. Then John Randolph Price wrote in his book called The Abundance Book, and it's the same thing. He gives you a series of scriptural statements, and you're going to repeat them throughout 40 days. That means 30 days on the Gregorian calendar, 30, 31 days, and an extra 10 or 9 days, depending on which month you started it. But the same key point, he's saying when you repeat these 10 statements, these four statements, you repeat them over and over and over, eventually, without skipping, meaning without skipping a day. Because he said if you skip a day or a week, you got to start all over. But starting all over only reinforces it more within your mindset, brain, within your body, within your feelings. Okay. So the whole idea is you're spending the first 21 days to get in the rhythm of it. And usually within the next 19 days, the new patterns of behavior and thought processes and how you describe yourself, how you describe your environment, how you describe the people in your environment, how you're able to uplift yourself in your environment. That extra 19 days after those first 21 days locks it into place. So, what happens if you're to stay focused, doing what you need to do every day, doing the same thing every day until it becomes second nature, as they say? In other words, you don't have to think about it. You have impressed it within yourself. Now you begin to start living, acting it out. But you're not even getting to the point of acting it out. You're actually becoming what you say who you are. So when you can become who you say who you are, you do more than to have faith in what you're saying means you have seen the words manifest in your mind and materialize in the world around you. So this is important. Through awareness, building and creating consciously, we can see our own consciousness become new within each one of us. Every part of ourselves is changing internally. That's what happens first. Every part of ourselves is changing internally. We already know in the medical field, right? They already tell us, metaphysically speaking, in health fields, that each organ, each major organ, takes a certain amount of time to recreate itself. Certain cells in the body die off. those cells in the body that die off disintegrate into the bloodstream, disintegrate in the urinary tract down there, and in the bowels. Eventually, it gets all the way down there, and then you get rid of it, the old dead cells. When you take a shower or a bath, you're scrubbing off old dead cells, right? To get to the new, fresher cells in your skin. When we do exercises and we stretch, whether it's yoga, hatha yoga, kriya yoga, bhakti yoga, getting into worshiping, okay, or if we're getting into maha yoga, overcoming the illusions of the world that we are putting ourselves into and through, when we see those things, we begin to change our outlook. Why? Because our inner look has changed. That's what we're striving to do. We're striving to let the inner side of us, internal, let that shift and change and cleanse and get clear and build a higher frequency. Then outside of us, things begin to change. We begin to attract better quality people, better quality relationships, better quality environments. People change their thought processes and how they feel about themselves, will begin to attract new careers, new ideas to put into their professions or their careers, new ideas maybe to say, I don't need to work so hard at this job I've had for 10 years or 20 years, or the groups that I'm collaborating with all the time. I need to what? Go inside myself, give myself what? Permission, allow myself to do something new. Many of the New Thought teachers always used to say, not everybody can go where you're going, and you can't go where everyone else is going. Can you imagine that? You can't go in the same direction on the same boat, car, ship, whatever you want to call it, plane, train, with everybody. You're not supposed to. You don't have to be every place to be seen. Why? Because if you're in tune with yourself and your environment and beyond, people who are also somewhere near that frequency begin to pick up on the frequency. They begin to orient themselves, in other words, turn themselves to where they're feeling the frequency. Meditate on what they're feeling and let the energies merge into your space. Merge where they can find you, begin to see you, begin to experience you. This is so unique about what this is about. You see, because every aspect of ourselves changes. And what is that? That is our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual selves, and all other parts in between. All of that is shifting. It eventually takes us step by step and layer by layer. That means you're sitting back and you want to think about moving, relocating, and you got to figure out where you want to go to. You got to do the research to find out what's the population like over there, what's the weather like. Already you're going to ask yourself, what is the weather like, what is the population like, is it crowded, dense, sparse, what's the crowd. You go online now and they'll tell you what the demographics are. They'll tell you the percentage wise of those demographics. That's what they picked up in census, okay? But sometimes everything they pick up in census may not be the whole thing because not everybody participates in census. But it'll tell you demographically, right down from 70, 80%, right down to 1 or 2% of people from different cultures that are living in a designated area that you're looking at that you want to relocate to. They will tell you what? They'll tell you about the school system, how it's rated or graded. They'll tell you about the educational public school system, private school system, high schools, colleges, universities. They give you all of that. Then you can go to the university, you can check out to see how many graduates have they put out there, how many majored in sociology, political sciences, psychology, philosophy, art, business, sports. They'll tell you what percentage is doing what and what percentage has graduated. They'll let you know what the crime rate is, the percentage of the crime rate in a given city. You can get that too. So I bring this up to let you know that you are responsible for how you are going to act, how you're going to react, how you're going to respond. Responsibility, another way of looking at the word responsibility, is to look at what's at the end, the suffix, ability. You have an ability, what? You have a skill, you have a talent that allows you to respond to energy that comes in your direction, be it sound, be it sight, be it smell, be it by way of touch or tasting. You're having the experience. What are you hearing? All these things kind of blend together. We sense and feel these changes in subtle but yet also direct ways. So, how do you experience relocating in a direct way? You start throwing things out you don't need, giving things away you don't need, putting things in facilities or stores like a Goodwill or Savers or whatever. But you're gonna clean up the items. Could be furniture, could be and you're gonna cart it, donate it, do whatever you got to do. What to lighten up your load so you can travel. You do the same with your clothes. Any children's toys laying around, children's books laying around. You begin to lighten your load, step by step, layer by layer. You can sense these subtle changes. You keep getting dreams that tell you there's a shift that's happening around you. You need to pay attention to the shift that you see that's going on around you. The more you pay attention, the more you could get into something and see what's changing and what isn't changing. But here's something else. We hear and how we engage in life with others, it's important. Or how many people are you actually in communication with? But if you're really working on yourself, an elder friend used to tell me this. She used to say, Bishop, that's what she used to call me, even before I knew what that was about. She would say, Bishop, it takes 6 months to learn how to mind your own business. And I thought it was comical the way she said it, because then she followed it up with the other part. And it takes another 6 months to keep yourself from minding someone else's business. So the first 6 months, you focus on yourself. And the next 6 months, you focus on yourself not being nosy, not knowing what the neighbor's doing next door or behind you. They got their own issues going on. So you might want to use that. You might want to say to yourself, okay, people have resolutions. Some people break those resolutions. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to eat properly. I'm going to eat different foods. I'm going to fast. People do that all the time. But no one thinks about how to clear my consciousness so I attract better people, better quality situations, be it business, be it relationships. You want to make this change. You want to see yourself changing. You want to know that you're changing. And you want to see the end results when you do change. So, you that and direct to remember. First thing is here's and it's set up by the letters themselves. said in the beginning, the principles of A, B, and C state how you can build a new life as you are new in consciousness. So here's the letter A. When we have A, awareness, we can begin to understand whatever we are looking or gazing into or even thinking about in terms of ourselves, mental, physical, emotional bodies, our environment. This means what type of people are around us, what kind of situations and people are you allowing to come into your life. If you don't know anything about their background, don't invite so many people. If you discover what their background is and can see it clearly, it may mean bring them in or leave them out. We can construct or build better connections, build better relationships so that we can communicate clearly, whether it's marital, romantic, business, friendship, casual friendship. It's all relationship energy. So you got to watch how what you are saying because you might bring something that's not meant for you to experience. And then when you do that, your life has been slowed down. You've been tripped up. So you want to start to look around and you have to go inside yourself and say I'm a quality person. I'm a quality energetic person. I'm a quality loquacious person. So you're going to sit down and you're going to figure out those things. And you're going to get charged up by it because you start tuning into it. You know, when I came out here to live in Albuquerque, when I came the second time by way of Amtrak, before I did that, when I was out here the first time, and even before that, I went online and looked up the Visitors Bureau magazine. Now, I didn't only have just Albuquerque's visiting bureau, I had Santa Fe's visiting bureau because I wanted to see what it was like in both areas. But I knew that I was supposed to be here in Albuquerque. So what did I do? I poured over the one in Albuquerque. Sometimes I wore them covers out. I wore the pages out because I was constantly flipping through it and reading up on the different sections of the neighborhoods, and then knowing something about the Sandia Peak Mountains and knowing something about the 22 indigenous tribes that surround Albuquerque. There's 22, 19 to 22 that are surrounding the city in the suburb area of Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I took that as those people are praying all the time. I'm in that void, in that energy, and I'll be enhanced by it. So we often have to start to look at things in a way that can help us overcome a hurdle in our life, help us have a better, higher frequency of consciousness in our life so we start attracting things. Now, awareness is important because it's going to allow us to consider the kinds of people and the kinds of situations we let into our lives, as well as what we are consciously creating. We can construct or build better connections and relationships. Once you understand how the person is in front of you and around you, once you thoroughly understand that, then you can go to another level in that relationship. You see, you can build better connections within the relationships so you can do what? Communicate clearly with them. Seek right kinds of people and build ourselves up. Now, if you might realize, hey, there's some friends I knew from grade school and high school. You can go back to your town and your city, you'll see the same people. Where I grew up, Same people hanging out on street corners that we did when we were 15 and 14 and 12. We took up the place of the elders that was standing there. Now we're standing there. But what changed? Nothing. Only thing changed is you got older. Your health shifted. Your emotional pain either got heavier or lessened. You learned to deal with your family issues and your personal issues and your mental issues. And you start changing, intending this change willfully. And eventually you have no connection to those things. Now here's something else that happens. Because we are now what? Aware. Now we got to do what? Create and build. But you got to seek out the right kinds of people and the right situations. Build yourself up more. I'm not saying deceive a person. Build your energy up so they know you have a firm understanding of your surroundings, firm understanding of people who are around you. You see it all clearly. That's important. So that's why you want to construct or build something on your behalf. And the last part of the formula, we can create consciously by creating or choosing on purpose with intent, with a strong will. So here are the three letters A, B, and C. Become more aware of your environment and the people that are in it, the kinds of people, how they interact with each other, or do they interact with each other. You have to delve into that. Then the letter is B, construct or build connections and relationships. So we can do what? Communicate clearly with other people. So you got to create, you got to build. That's important. And before you start building, you got to make sure things are working or not working so you don't accumulate stuff. Then the third point is create consciously by choosing on purpose. Create consciously, which allows you to build the life's dream. Whatever you got that's urging you to move forward in your life, you'll get more of it. When you do that, then things improve. When you do that, things improve. Because now you are ready to do what? Create consciously by choosing on purpose with intent or intention. You do intend to do what you say that you're going to do. You do intend to think along those lines that you need to think so that you can be clear mentally and emotionally. You're going to change your whole setup. You're going to change how you find yourself working and achieving finances. You're going to change how you realize you need more joy in your life. So you might get together with relatives more often or old friends more often. Those who have been progressive in their own life, that's who you're going to start hanging around, who you're going to start communicating with, who you decide to invite them over for breakfast or lunch or dinner. They're doing the same with you. How can they get you to come to their place? That's what you're going to do. You're going to choose wisely. You're going to construct and build wisely. You're going to be aware of everything that you're tuning into wisely. You're going to make sure it is correct for you. You're going to make sure that what you're feeding your mind with is correct for you. And then your body is correct for you. And as it isn't, you're just going to make the changes almost literally right on the spot. So I'm going to reiterate this title: The Principles of A, B, and C. A is awareness, B is building or constructing, right? And C is consciously creating what you want to have happen in your life. That's where vision boards and dream boards come in. Put yourself right in the middle. You get pictures of valleys and glens and dales and mountainous regions and resorts and plane rides and countries. You see the people in their colorful garb. You go do all of that. Why? Because you know that you can achieve it, and you're going to allow yourself to achieve it. Because you what? You do more than believe in yourself. You have faith in yourself. When you begin to do that, you begin to have more resources because the universe is tithing you. The universe begins to tithe you. So let's put this into a meditation. Make up in your mind something that you really truly want to see in your world, in your environment. Then grow your awareness. Start feeling it every day. Start feeling your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your deeds. Start feeling all of that. When you get in a good space with that which you're feeling, you can lock that into place. Things you're able to tap into will start to fall into place. Emotionally, you feel better. Physically, you feel better. You can see yourself, hey, I can now invest in this or that. I could, have a franchise, or better yet, I'm my own franchise. I can see myself out there doing motivational speaking. You can do it. You just have to keep convincing yourself. By convincing yourself, you're pouring back into yourself everything that's delightful, that's cheerful, that's exciting, that's brand new, that has been cleared to bring you positive, higher energy frequencies. When you learn that, then you start and you are prepared to move on. But here's something else. You know, tomorrow's Friday. Be sure to tune in 10 a.m. tomorrow back here at YouTube Resident channel, Resident Essentials YouTube channel, Fridays, 10 a.m. Founder of Resident Essentials, Michelle Vidal, is back talking from her book, giving you a brief synopsis of her new book. This is her first book, I believe, and it's called Metaphysics, Essentials and Foundations, the Principles of Essential Foundations, or Essential Principles and Foundations of what metaphysics is. She'll talk from that, and I believe our topic tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time is about capital Karma. She's going to give you the real meaning, the true meaning for that word, karma. Then on Saturdays, I'm going to be at the center at 3107. That's 3107 Eubank Boulevard, Northeast, just north of the crossing of Candelaria. Because Eubank runs north and south, Candelaria runs east and west. And all you got to do if you're traveling south, before you get to Eubank, you'll see like a big plaque. Has a clock in it, and it will say Scottsdale Shopping Village, and you're gonna make a right turn when the driveway comes up. You're gonna drive past the chili chicken place on your left, and you see the parking space open up. And if you just go a little further over the bump, right there, a green building with a black trim, you'll see the window that says Resonant Essentials. Park your car and come on in through suite door number 34, black door with a beautiful jalousie beveled glass. Be there a little before 12 p.m. or get there 12:05. She'll be there and I'll be in there doing creative pathwork meditation series for a small fee. You could take a 1 hour class with me and join us. There's people that are there on different levels. we're all meditating together. I teach you about deep breathing. I teach you how to properly use uh, guided meditations and journeys so that you could find your way. It helps you to enliven your mind. That's what it's truly for. Enliven your mind, make your mind more adjustable, more adaptable, more creative, and then you start seeing your way to where? To meet up with your higher self. And I have various color vibrations that help you do that. That's every Saturday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. If you want more information about that, email me at iam.circleofgrace with the number one at the end, just like you see in my logo there. Circle of Grace with all the words tied together with the number one after the letter E. That's the one there, the letter E. Coming in and join me in meditation for a simple fee. You can be there with me from just an hour, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. And this Sunday, every month, once a month on the second Sunday, free admission, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. to our Resonant Essentials Psychic and Healing Art Fair. You can come in there and get some beautiful things. I'll be there doing my creative path work. Um, Energies in a different form. I call it Celestial I Am Portraits. Use beautiful colored pencils, drawing the energy I see in your auric field. That's about 30 minutes to do, and I'll tell you how much that is when you get there. I have my first appointment coming in the door at 12, 11:30, 12 o'clock, so I can do hers. She's had, this will be her third one, I believe, that she's gonna have. Usually get some once or twice a year, really, because she gets them in her birthday month of October, and she's coming because it's the start of the year. I do Angel of Grace readings as well. There are many people giving straight psychic reading, oracle reading, tarot reading, all kind of information, some healing. I think we'll have Susan Zumo there doing her perceptive awareness techniques and Soma Pi healing. Should be in there. I'm gonna be there. Michelle will be there. Got to come on down and get this information. You're going to love it. It's going to help you. And if you've never been there, come on down and meet us. Brian Kurtz will be there with what he does. Amber Jajola will be there doing Reiki. She's very good at it. Uh, we have Lauren of Lolo Tarot. She will be in there doing tarot readings. We'll have Stephanie Pereira. She has owl candles. Great stuff that she has. Those candles are powerful. We'll have other people selling some jewelry in there. You need to just come in and meet us. If we're not busy, we'll chat with you. We'd be glad to meet you. We're going to have Rosie will be there, and she's an excellent reading. She'll do something with numerology as well. I'm a numerologist, but she's going to do something. So I'll let her do the numerology, but I can do it as well. But anyway, just come on down this Sunday for our Resident Essentials once a month, every second Sunday of the month, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., free admission, and get yourself spiritually hooked up, metaphysically speaking. So that's what's going on. And if you go to www.resonantessentials, www.resonantessentials.com, you could pull up the calendar of events. Everything is listed. You could uh, click on practitioners, and you can see all the practitioners affiliated with the center. You could click on preferred businesses and see who's connected there. Come on down and meet us. 3107 Eubank Boulevard, Northeast. That's in the Northeast Heights area, I believe it's called, in Albuquerque. It's the entrance to get in right there, heading south to go inside the Scottsdale Shopping Village. Right across the street is Silver Lanes Bowling. That's how you know. That's one of the landmarks. So we look forward to seeing you. There's people, practitioners every day of the week that are there Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and there's some people in there on Saturdays doing things. There are a lot of things going on. We'd like to see you there. I'm going to sign off now. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. My grace is your grace. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, and I'm the host of Clear Blue Radiance. See you next Thursday at either 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Take care now, and we look forward to seeing you soon.